Well, once again, family, it is on another Wednesday has made it here, and we're doing Wellness Wednesday. It's your main man, Joe Dupree, 100 BLK, the Black Station, along with my good friend, Edward J. Brown from Positive Choices Counseling Services. We are in the building on this Wellness Wednesday where a healthy you,
Is a better you.
yeah, that part right
What's
there, family.
going on, man?
It is the 21st day of June, one day before the grandioso day of the 22nd of June,
Yep,
which
yep.
tomorrow is my birthday.
Right, that's
so,
right.
so we're talking about yeah, let me hold on. Let me get my stuff ready.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Hey.
All
So
right.
and we are in the middle of men's mental health month where men, we got to start checking on each other, make sure that
Yes,
each one
sir.
of us are okay, that we're good, that everything is going fine and well. I'm
And we
hooded
don't
up.
like going to the doctor, man.
No, we don't. We
We
really
don't
don't.
like going to the doctor
No,
because we don't want no bad news.
mm-mm.
Like the
we we
Wiz.
we
We
we feel
rather
like,
not know than
right,
know and do something
right.
about it.
We feel like if we don't know, it may make it that it just goes away, but that's
Yeah, yeah.
never the
That,
case. Never, 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 never the case. We are
so
here
I think it's
every
important
Wednesday.
we stress that, we're going to get out and go to the doctor.
Right,
We're going to get
right,
ourselves checked out so we can be around for our families, our loved ones, and for ourselves. We still have
right.
things on our bucket list we need to do, man. Take care of.
Right. That part. That part. We still got stuff that we need to have. Uh, we need to get accomplished before we go to the other side. So, family, welcome to Wellness Wednesday, where a healthy you is a better you. Edward J. Brown, Positive Choices Counseling Service in the building. We have been talking about taking care of self, checking on self, making sure you got yourself together. And since we're talking about men's health and mental health, and everybody needs to know, if you're tuned in, it is time that you get yourself together. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, my good friend Edward J. Brown.
Brother. One of the things today that I think we need to take some time talking about, especially when we're talking about men's health, but that's a great segue into this podcast for tonight. One of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight for us, and I didn't think of it in terms of just men. I was thinking in terms of all of us, which is communication. The ability to communicate properly. And sometimes, why don't we communicate properly? Why don't we express our feelings the way we should? Why don't we share things with people that's important to us like we should? We bury them, we keep them in. And to be honest with you, one of the first things we have to talk about when we start looking at communication is the term perception. Perception directly impacts the way we respond in a conversation. It is the number one, well, one of the number one driving forces behind the way we react. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. And we are very complex as people of color. So we're gonna get into that later as we go along because as you see, I'm wearing t-shirts these days because I got a bazillion t-shirts. I have one, but I gave my mom one, and on it says, "All right now." And at the bottom, it says, this can have three different meanings. It could be a greeting, all right, now. It could be a warning, all right, now. Or it could be a way of just blowing somebody off, all right, whatever you say, all right. That's because we need to be able to perceive, and how you perceive that greeting, that response, is going to determine how you respond.
Mm.
All right. Now, so when we start talking about communication, we definitely got to talk about how different we are as men and women.
Real
I'm
talk.
writing something now for a book that I'm writing. And when it comes time to talk about the difference in communication between men and women, I always say the most dangerous person in a conversation, especially in regards to couples, is that person that would rather be right than be together.
Mm.
You'd rather be right than be together. So when you get to that point, your perception within this conversation is really, really distorted. So
Mm.
now let's look at how we, as men and women, we view things. Our perception is different.
Correct.
There's a common belief that men are logical and women are emotional. Okay, there's always exceptions to every rule, but more so than that. Let's talk about things, and I may step on a couple of toes, no pun intended, with this example I'm about to give. Let me show you how men and women think different. Okay, I do not know very many brothers, not as many women, that will put on shoes that they know hurt their feet,
Mm.
but they look good.
Mm.
Okay, now that's a profound statement. We're talking about the difference between men and women. Women will get shoes out of the closet for an outfit, knowing that those shoes do what?
Hurt.
They know, girl, these shoes are amazing, but they hurt your feet.
Mm.
As men, we start saying, "Man, I'm not wearing those shoes because those shoes hurt my feet. I'm not, I'm not putting those on." Now again, so that anybody that want to come for me, I'm not hard to find. I didn't say all. You see, that's what we're talking about communication.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another difference between men and women. And I'm not bashing sisters because I'm gonna come for the brothers too. You can sit there and say, okay, baby, you and I have $100.
Come
We're
on.
gonna You and I both gonna go buy a pair of shoes. Okay? So she got 100, you got 100. We immediately walk into the mall. The first thing that's gonna happen is she gonna look at 1,000,001 things before she make it to the shoes. She gonna stop at 1,000,001 different places before she make it to the shoe. That's the first thing. The second thing is she's gonna walk around and she's gonna pick up a pair of shoes and say, "Ooh, wait, he's the one." Right?
Mm.
We're gonna put a pin in that. We're gonna come to. So here's the brother. He walking to the shoes. He said, "Look, I need a pair of black shoes. Oh, these are cool right here." All right. Now here's the same situation. You ready? The brother turned the shoes he having his hand over, and they say $120. The brother gonna be like, "Oh no, he put those down because how much do we have? We have
100.
$100."
100.
All right. That woman, she gonna say, if these the shoes, you know what she gonna say? They're $120. I wonder where I can get $20 more from. That's what she gonna say. She ain't gonna put those shoes on. Because if these are the shoes, these are the ones she get. So there's when we start talking about perception, how things are different between men and women. So so now when we start talking about communication, we completely express ourselves completely different.
Yes, this is true.
All right, let me show you what I'm talking about. A woman is mad. Okay, now keep in mind we're talking about different, viewpoints, how people see things differently. A woman is mad. You know how you know she mad?
How you know?
She shut up. She don't talk.
Hmm.
You're like, what? If you mad, aren't we supposed to talk about it? A man, he gonna let you know he mad. He gonna say something. He gonna slam something. He's gonna be loud, expressive. Now, again, we're not talking about absolutes here.
Correct, because it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
Right. Everybody's not like this.
I know some women that when they get mad, they don't shut up.
Right.
So I mean, we have to start looking at how we perceive things, how we look at things. You know, we always talk about, I look at these brothers. Now, let me get the brother. You know, brothers have some of that in them too that we just talked about. Because I know brothers that will be and literally stay outside and spend the night outside Foot Locker for some new Jordan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? They will literally spend $300 on a pair of tennis shoes and don't have $300 in the bank. Okay? Now, I'm just saying, if that's your thing, go for it.
Now, hold on. I do want to say something to that.
Okay.
And brothers, we got to do better.
We're talking about communication, so now's the time to communicate.
Let me communicate this. Listen, family, we will stand out for Jordans all day long, but we will complain if we have to stand 10 minutes in line to vote. We got to do better. I'm just saying.
You have to prioritize better.
Right. Come on.
Prioritize.
Back to Brother Brown.
So now when we start talking about how we communicate, how we express ourselves, or the lack of expression, it goes back to perception. Why do we think if another brother look at us, he's disrespecting us? Why do we perceive it to be that way? Why? Oh my God! Y'all, we about to have a good one tonight. I had the privilege of listening because I had to go to Baton Rouge today, and I was listening to talk radio, and the lady said that men have a problem with women who are intellectually their superior.
What?
Yeah. And they said, what percentage of men do you believe is okay with a woman being as smart or smarter than them? And they literally said 25%.
What?
Yeah. The rest of us, the other 75% of men are threatened by women who are intelligent. I was like, I don't quite know about that one. But then again, like we said, we're not talking in absolute.
Correct.
I don't want anybody in my circle that don't know how many stars are on the American flag.
Correct.
Some of the questions they was talking about. I don't want a woman that don't know how many are in a dozen. How many continents? These are some of the questions they was asking. How many continents are there? And I'm listening. I'm like, that's intelligence. That's intellect. Okay, I'm fine with that. What we have to start doing is looking at how we perceive things and how those things make us act.
Right.
Okay, and how we respond.
Because perception is reality.
Yeah, our perception is reality. However, perception is your reality.
Come on. And everybody don't feel like you feel.
That's right. Just because you think it don't make it right.
Come on.
So when we start talking about perception and the way we communicate, know that there is possibly another side to this issue. All right? Know that there is possibly, we don't know. There is possibly another side to this issue. So your perception is directly going to impact the way you respond.
Come on, speak on that.
Now, let me show you what I'm talking about.
Speak on
I'm
it.
going to use myself. So like my boy said, we ain't talking about nobody that's watching this podcast. I'm going to talk about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who knows me knows I bleed blue and gold for my Southern Jaguar. Okay? So I went about 15 years ago. I'm at my boy house in Jackson for the Southern Jackson State game.
Okay.
And I was so happy because there was some Jackson State folks there and I could talk some trash.
Come on, let's get it.
All right. So we talking trash. Oh, we going at it. And this before the game.
Mm.
We talking trash, and you know, by this time we've been drinking the whole day. So it's time to leave to go to the stadium, and they getting their Jackson State stuff. And I remember looking at my boy and I said, you know what? These people love their school just as much as I love Southern.
That part.
And he started to laugh, and then I said, I don't know why, but they do. So but it was my perception that Southern University is the best school HBCU in the land. But those people at Jackson State feel that way. Those people at FAMU feel that way. Those people on the other side of Louisiana that wear that big old G that my brother sitting across from me know about personally feel that way. Okay? So I had to change my perception. And now I still feel Southern is the best school in the land, but now I don't. Here's the thing: my perception has changed, and I think it's okay that other people like their school. Because for me, I couldn't understand why you didn't like Southern. I
Right.
can't understand why you don't agree with me that Southern. I don't understand that.
What's wrong? What's wrong with you there, sir?
What's wrong with y'all?
I'm a defender. I'm a defender of the blue and gold.
Of the blue and gold. That's right. So I didn't understand quite how your perception was not like my perception.
Hold on, Brother Brown. I'm gonna show you when reality kicked in with me about what I call the difference between a HBCU and a PWI. Even though a lot of people always put the G on me, and a lot of folks know I've been working for Southern now. I'm going on my 11th year for working for the blue.
You've been there as long as I've been at Alcorn.
The blue and gold.
12th year at Alcorn.
But a lot of folks don't know my bachelor's degree comes from a PWI. I'm a Maryland Terrapin. And let me tell you something. There's a big, and if you see on the wall, you'll see the Maryland Terrapin. I have from my illustrious university, our Terrapin on the wall. But let me say this: there is a big difference between PWIs and HBCUs in a lot of ways. And we're not talking about funding. I'm talking about at a fundamental ground basics of how the culture, the professors, the administration. I'll be very honest with you. I was completely blown away at Grambling State in comparison to my days at Maryland, because everybody at Grambling was concerned about you. Everybody.
Correct. Now, but as we talk about perception,
come on,
and how perception controls how we respond, think about it this way. What you learned at Maryland was a completely different perception of education.
Come on.
Than what you got at Grambling.
Yes, sir.
At Maryland, and I'm gonna kind of speak for you, and because being a Tulane alumni, I kind of got some of this from over there.
Okay.
When you at the PWI, it's every man, woman, and child for themselves.
Yes, sir.
You got to go get it. Yes, you have to go and get it. Right?
Yes, sir.
So, but when you at an HBCU, it's kind of like we're in this together. We are gonna get you through this. We're gonna make sure you're qualified, that you're educated, and not only that, we're gonna help you become a well-rounded individual. You know what I mean? It's a holistic type approach.
Come on, that
and
part.
The perception of education is different.
Correct.
At the PWI, they don't expect you to excel. At an HBCU, we don't allow you to fail.
Correct. Yep.
You see, we push you, and we're going to put you in a position to where you're going to be successful. And when you're dragging and you're trying to be mediocre, we're going to light some fire under you and tell you that is not going to cut it in the real world.
Correct. Correct.
Okay? So when you at Tulane or at Maryland and you ain't excelling as a Black person, my perception of you wasn't that you were going to be successful here anyway.
Correct.
Okay, so they interact with us different. They
Correct.
communicate with us different. They the whole interaction is completely different. So now we have to start looking at, why do we have that kind of mediocre perception, and we accept it, and we don't allow ourselves to communicate or excel in any particular arena, and we have to change that perception. And it starts at a very early age,
Come
very
on.
early.
Come on.
So we started off talking about communication and how our perception direct. I'll never forget. I had some friends, and they went to LSU,
Mm-hmm.
and I lived over by LSU, but of course, 'cause LSU had nicer apartments.
Come on. Talk
Wasn't
to
like
me.
it is now, so I lived, but I went to Southern. So one
Right.
day we were riding around, and I guess they forgot I was in the car. And they were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go and take this class at Southern because it's gonna be easy. I don't have to take it over here at LSU because it's gonna be hard, this, that, and the other." And all of a sudden I said, "Excuse me, hey, I'm back here, right?" And she was like, "Well, it's different at Southern." I said, "Yeah, so we made a bet. We made a bet. I said, I will take any psychology class y'all have at LSU and make an A. And but you get to pick the class. And I'm gonna pick a class for you at Southern, and we're gonna bet $100. Now that was back then, that was a
Big
lot of
money.
money.
That
And
big
plus,
money.
I was on the books for 200 because it was two of them.
Right.
And this was the difference.
Mm.
Because keep in mind, I had went through the classes at Southern. Here was the difference. I go in this class, and it's an auditorium.
Right.
And I'm sitting in this auditorium, and I'm watching the people fill in, and I take my notepad out, and I got my pen, and I'm ready. And sure enough, if there was a picture of a professor, this was it. An old white man with a big white beard walks in with his suit with the patches on the elbow
Mm-hmm.
and his briefcase, and he puts it on the desk, pops it open, and pulls out a piece of chalk. So you know how long ago that was.
Mm.
And he wrote on the board, read chapters. I swear I remember this like it was yesterday. Read chapters 5 through 26. Final exam, December 2nd. Gone fishing. Put his chalk back in his thing, closed his bag, and walked out. Everybody that was in there started grabbing their little backpacks, doing this stuff, and they walking out. And I'm looking around.
Like, what is going on?
I'm saying, hey. So it was a couple of people. I said, "Hey, where y'all going?" They was like, "That's it." I said, "That's it." Yes, we ain't got to come back until the 2nd. And I looked at him and I said, "But you do know that whatever you make on this final exam, that's your grade out of this class." And they was like, "Yeah," and they all left. Man, Joe, I went and found that old man. I said, "Look, excuse me." He said, "What do you want from me?" That's what he said. "What do you want from me?"
Mm.
I said, "Well, I'd like a little more interaction, you know. So
A little more
what
instruction.
kind of test is it gonna
A
be?
little more teaching.
Yeah. I said, I just need a little bit more, interaction. I'm kind of uncomfortable with this. And I ended up making an A out of class because I made a A on the exam.
Right.
But my anxiety level was through the roof. There was no exchange between me and my instructor, like at Southern. There was no, you know, personal relationship or personal contact, I should say, not relationship, between me and my instructor. My perception for PWI was not the same as what I got at Southern. My instructors at Southern, they knew my name.
Right. Right.
They knew if I missed class, it's like,
Right.
where were you?
Right.
You know, They interact, they laughed with us, they talked with us, they shared of themselves with us. So my perception about education from a HBCU was one that it's all of us in this together and we're stronger together.
Correct.
So
Correct.
teach me what I need to know.
Correct.
So that also helped me in my ability to communicate professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think something about a particular area of professionalism, or be it psychology or journalism or media, they'll tell you, no, sir, that's no, that's not.
Yeah, right.
No, that's not a good outlook. This is why. Now, at the PWI, well, yeah, I'm sure there's some great instructors that exchange with, but that's not my. And what is this show about? Perception. That's
Right,
not
right.
my perception.
Because of what you experience. See,
Correct.
that's what I want y'all to catch here. A lot of times, the reason we see things the way we see them is because of our life experiences. Now,
Mhm.
understand, everybody hasn't had the same life experience that you've had. Now, I'll make you laugh. One of the things I always remember about Grambling State is those few instructors we had that were from another country that kind of talk something like this, and sometimes you
Mhm.
could not understand
Yeah.
because they would say,
Yeah.
"Just go tell you the class. This is what we're going to do in class."
Yeah.
You would be like,
I'm like, man, I don't know what you're talking
and
about.
the whole
Yeah.
class being there like, you
I don't know
understand
what you're talking about.
what? Did you understand what Professor Pushus just said? Nah,
Yeah.
but this is what you would do. I was always loving that every instructor I had that looked like me let me know this wasn't going to be an easy journey. They tell you
Right.
to your face. They say, look, hey, you got what it takes, and it still ain't going to be easy. And you look at them and say, well, wait a minute, I'm smart. But yeah, but when you get out in the real world, you being smart sometimes will be more of a distraction than an attraction. I remember one telling me that your mouth and your intelligence will be more of a distraction than an attraction. You gonna have to
Because
learn.
the perception of you
Come on.
is not going to have anything to do with what comes out of your mouth or what's in your head. See, now this is profound. The perception of you, we're talking about the way communication is directly impacted by our perception. Okay. The way you come out of an HBCU or any venue as a black person, the perception of you will have nothing to do with what you've done or said initially. It will be of the perception of the person that you're encountering.
Mm.
So if you coming across someone that has had poor experiences with individuals of color, they're going to perceive you as a threat or mediocre or whatever. We have created terms like Karen. You know, I can recall one time, the first time I ever went to Vegas. I'm on the elevator, and there's a elderly white lady in the elevator right next to me. And I looked down at her, and she looked up at me, and she literally took her purse from one shoulder and put it to the
Mm.
shoulder. So what I did was I reached in my pocket and took my wallet and put it in the other side away from her. So, and it made me realize her perception of black people is directly impacted by something that has created a negative perception of us, be it television, the media, whatever it may be. But that does not make, we are talking about perception, and just because you perceive it does not make it the truth.
Come on.
It
Facts,
does not make it valid.
feelings, and hearsay. Come on.
That's right.
Come on.
Validation comes from the ability to communicate and get beyond your perception and accept the perception of the person you're communicating with and realizing and accepting it may be different from yours.
Right.
That's a community, that's a exchange within the communication structure.
I mean, let me say this, and I'm going to say this when it comes down to that. I can give you a prime example. One of my best examples, and I'll use me as the example. You know, another thing a lot of folks don't know. My oldest child, who is Alexander Durrell, uh, is biracial. My oldest child is biracial, and many a times I laugh when we talk about, where does he stand on certain issues, black and white issues. He said, "Well, Dad, where am I supposed to stand?"
Mhm.
He said, "Because I'm really not either." He said, "You're African American, mom is European, Caucasian." He said, "So where do I stand? I see it really," he said, "full circle." He said, "Now most people perceive me as a black man, as a fair-skinned black man. But," he
Right.
said, "the truth about it is," he said, "I'm half Caucasian." And he said, "At the end of the day," he said, "I know both sides got some ridiculousness in them."
Mhm.
He said, "Both sides." He said, "And here's the crazy thing." He said, "European Caucasians sometimes look very strangely at American Caucasians." He
Wonder
said,
why.
"We say
Wonder
many
why.
a time, them the ones that we had to get up out of here. Y'all got to get in the boat. Y'all got to go."
Hey, listen, we're talking about prejudices and biases are what comes from, you know, these perceptions that we develop over years. Okay. Um, I could pick something silly like they say black folk constantly pour tons of sugar in their Kool-Aid.
Mm,
Okay. We said
a
there's
great
white
deal,
people
a great
don't
deal, but
season
not
their
all.
food.
Right,
White
right.
people don't season their food.
All they eat is turkey with mayonnaise.
Correct. You know, and to cut the crust off the bread. Whatever it may be. But these prejudices and biases are driven by perception, things that we've seen, things that we've encountered, things that we've been a part of. So, what I wanted to talk about and what I hope that we could achieve with this show tonight in regards to perception and how it impacts communication is to be more open minded. Because I'm telling you, that day that I went there and those people from Jackson State was cheering for their team loud, I was like, why are those people cheering against Southern? Don't people know Southern is the best school in the land? And I could not understand how someone could not think the way I thought about Southern University. Now, as an instructor at Alcorn State University, and seeing how they absolutely love their Braves,
The Brave
I
Nation.
see the Jackson State folks, and they love their Tigers. And let me go on the record and say this now. What I experienced and what I talked about with Jackson State, that was way before the Dion era. We
Right,
talking
right,
about,
right, right. Hold on, hold on.
we talking
Hold
about in
on.
the
Let let
early
let's make let's make
2000s.
let's make this clear to folks. We
Yeah,
swag. Hold it.
yeah,
We are swag.
right.
See,
That's
we
right.
know about the pillars of the swag. We know about the Comedies.
Exactly.
We know about the Robertsons. We
Uh,
are the pillars of
chasms
the
and
swag. The
yeah, the
chasms.
chasms.
Come on.
Yeah. Mhm. So it made me realize there's more than one perception to this HBCU thing for
Come
people
on.
of color.
Come
And
on.
then it really got tossed up when I met folks from Howard and
Tennessee
Spelman and
State.
Morehouse and
Right, right.
Tennessee State and Bethune Cookman. And I'm
Come
like,
on.
wait a minute. Y'all love y'all HBCU too? Oh, this is really too much for me to accept now.
Right.
But now I understand we have to start looking at things with open mind. Now we
Mm-hmm.
went from communication, we went to the way people perceive us as far as a culture, but now we got to start looking at things perception about ideology.
Come on. Come on.
So see, we're running out of time. We got to start looking at how perception is actually flipped
Right.
because of people,
Hold it.
people's
Here's a
ideology.
here's a prime example. If you are from the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, here's another reason a lot of folks who are Southernites really love Southern. Southern was the most powerful and largest HBCU at that time.
in
Now,
the country. That's right.
in these days and time, that has been taken over by another HBCU, which if you go there, they will act right now like, man, we the best thing since sliced bread, and that's North Carolina A&T. That who is the largest HBCU in the country right now, and they acted. They Aggie pride. They act like old Southernite. Hey man, ain't nothing better. We got more folks to go here. We the largest HBCU in the nation. We the baddest boys around.
Yeah, but you know, we have to start paying attention to how perception impacts people's ideology and their thought process against other people. Show you what I'm talking about.
Come on.
You have to be a Democrat because you black.
Oh, wait a minute.
All right. See, my ideology is you are a Democrat because look at you. You're black.
Well, wait a minute.
So
That might
now-
not be true. That might not be true.
Well, and this is what and why that bothers
Come
me.
on.
That says to me, you don't think I'm intelligent enough to know the issue. I'm just I'm a Democrat because I'm black. Not
By
because
default. I'm a
Democrats'
Democrat by default.
platform-
Right.
Right. Not because the blacks, the Democratic platform fits more in my arena than the Republican.
Come on.
Like I tell people all the time, I don't know how you can be a Republican and be poor.
Right.
Because if you're a Republican, they would cut everything that you could benefit from. Taxes will be low. I mean, high. People look at you and they determine your ideology based on their prejudices and bias.
Correct.
So you gotta be like, for example, if me and you walking down a dark alley and two people who are of non-color, let me just say that,
Come on.
are coming the other way, their anxiety level goes up through the roof because we getting ready to get mugged.
Hold on. Let me give you one even better. Let you and I show up. Hold on, because we've done this before. Hold on. Let you and I show up in nice Range Rovers and a nice Mercedes and both step out in a nice custom suit. Somebody starts asking, who'd you play for?
Exactly.
You know, I've had that happen. Hey, are you a coach or who did you used to play for? And I'm like, I'm not a professional athlete. Oh, so what record label what rap song is it that you do? So wait a minute. If I can't play ball and I can't rap, then they come with, you a street side pharmacist pushing a vehicle like that and living that way. Come on. So in other words, if I don't deal drugs, if I don't play ball, if I don't make you sing and dance, I can't be an intelligent black. Right. I can't. If I looked at you and told you, no, I happen to be a mechanical engineer at NASA, you look at me like, you are what? Or I happen to be a brain surgeon. You are what? I happen to be a self-made wealthy man who owns plenty of property. It's like they just don't believe that I got it the right way.
Possibly be, because then that would make my prejudices and my biases incorrect. You see, it would make my perception of black people incorrect. And lo and behold, we can't possibly undo generations and generations of these idiotic prejudices and biases. That would be crazy. You gotta be an athlete, a rapper, or some kind of dope dealer.
Right.
How could you possibly be a businessman? You black.
Right. You can't own a vehicle like that unless you went to Alabama, LSU, or you play football or baseball for basketball for somebody, or you a singer, dancer, you an entertainer. You can't be a person who got it, quote unquote, out the real mud.
I need folks today to make a commitment that we're gonna change we're gonna change our perception and be more open-minded. That's kind of one of the things we have to start doing with our children. And I'm gonna go real simple on this. We got to start changing the way we rear our children. And I'm gonna do something just as simple. Here you go, try it. Oh, I don't eat that. Have you ever tried it? No. Well, how do you know you don't like it? It's green. Oh, it's green. So grapes are green. You like grapes? Yeah, but I, we have people deciding I don't like based on zero experience. We have to start changing our prejudices and biases by doing away with the stereotypes. Let's experience. Let's learn and let's change our perception from what it used to be.
Come on, come on.
Until we do that, we're not going to elevate. There is no example of someone that had a narrow mind that created something great. Greatness comes from change and being uncomfortable.
Come on.
I got to do it different. I'm thinking something different. I think that this telephone idea, I think if we put a string and talk to a can, I might be able to hear you. And to develop this and not patent it so you don't get credit for we have great stuff in our minds, but we have to move our prejudices and our biases and broaden our perception of stuff.
Come on.
Let me tell you one of the greatest, and I wish, God will bless me. I wish I remember where I saw this and who this brother was. But it was just some dude I'm scrolling through social media, and he said, here's the difference between rich people and poor people. He said, poor people believe they need money so that they can pay all their bills. That's what poor people do. Poor people say, I need money so I can pay my bills. Middle class people, they believe I need credit so I can go buy all this stuff I can't afford and pay on it as I go. It said, but you know what rich people do? Rich people look at money and figure out how that money can make them more money. You see what I'm saying? And I saw this brother one time, and he had a $20 bill. And he said he was 27 and he was a millionaire. He was a millionaire. He bought some duplexes and things. And he said, this changed his life. He held up the $20 and he said, what do y'all see? And everybody, of course, said, we see a $20 bill. And he said, I used to think that way too. He said, but when I see a $20 bill, this is what I see. I see 20 employees. Each one of these dollars need to go out there and work for me. He said, this is $20. This is 20 employees that I need to go out there and work for me. I need you to go work for me. And I thought about that and I said, how profound is that?
Come on.
He changed his perception of what he thought about money. We need a whole bunch of stuff to show that we're successful. But do we really? You have to define what is your definition of success.
Come on.
Some people believe being able to pay all their bills is successful. Some people believe being able to, drive a nice car, live in a nice neighborhood is successful. We got to change perception. I want to read some of these comments, man. What we got going on?
Okay, coming up. Okay, there you go.
Doesn't make it better. No, we're on a battle with one another. That's right. Oh my God. And we did a podcast one day, and I do a presentation called Diamonds versus Cubic Zirconia.
Come on.
Understand this. If you have a $10,000 diamond and you put that $10,000 diamond in the middle of a ring, and then you surround it with some little bitty diamonds, those little diamonds are not threatened by the $10,000 diamond because they're still a diamond. I'm still a diamond. When we let social media put us in competition against one another. We let social media change our perception of black people, of our other folks. When what we really need to start looking at is, hold on, brother. Each brother bring one brother with him.
Come on.
When I get successful, I'm gonna put you on. We need
Mm.
to adopt Vietnamese, the Asian, Asian folks, Hispanic folks have figured it out. We're going to pool our money. I'm going to start my business. You're going to work for me. Then when I'm successful, we're going to help you start yours.
Right.
And then they're going to work for you. And by the end of 10 years, we all have our own business.
And we own the block,
We own it all.
the community,
See,
half the city. See, but that's the problem. See,
we
here's
gotta
the thing.
change perception.
We got listen, right now, anybody of color who is African American, black, go through your neighborhood and see how many businesses are in your neighborhood that are owned by you that you go and visit and you spend your dollars there. Ask yourself that question. How many black businesses in my community do I spend my black dollars with? And if you're not spending your black dollars with black businesses in your community, you need to look the man or the woman in the mirror and ask yourself why. And guess what? That means you are a part of the problem and not the solution. Because if we're spending more of our money to help them be better, that's the reason why we can never achieve anything. We're too busy investing in those who don't like us. Period.
We have to stay on the subject matter. The reason we do that is because we perceive their business, their ice is colder than our ice.
Mm.
And like their water freeze at a different temperature than their ice is cold. And we gotta stop thinking like that.
Come on.
Black does not mean substandard. It does not. Black does not mean substandard. If it did, we would not be the most imitated culture on the planet. If African American culture was substandard, our thoughts, ideas, product, the things we put out was substandard, why are they imitating us and making millions of dollars off of us? Okay, so when you start looking at, but this is what we gotta stop. We gotta stop asking for the hookup.
Come on.
You'll go, and here's my story, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I had a lady bring her son to me, and I told her that she had to pay, and I told her what it was gonna cost. And she's like, "Oh, that? Why I gotta pay that?" Then I said, "Well, that's what services cost." Okay. She never came back.
Mm.
About a year later, I saw her in the supermarket. And she came up to me and she said, "Hey," she said, "You still open over there?" I said, "Mm-hmm." She said, "I want to bring my son." I said, "Well, we tried that. I assume." Yeah, I took him over to a white therapist.
Mm.
I said, "Can I ask you something?" I said, "Why are you trying to bring?" He didn't get the help he needed. And he charged me double what you were going to charge me. And I looked at it and I said, "And you paid it for an entire year, but you wouldn't pay me half that. And I know what I would have gotten and where I would have gotten with your son." We have to change our perception.
Come on. Real talk.
Black
Real
is
talk.
substandard. Because if it was, soul food restaurants would be lined up with just us outside.
Come on. Come on.
If you go to the good soul food restaurant,
Everybody there.
you ain't gonna see just us lined up.
Everybody there.
Everybody's there. So we have to, man, this show is based on perception for a reason. We have to change the way we think about things.
Right.
We have to change the way we see stuff.
Brother Malcolm said it
you
best.
open up a barbecue joint, I ain't
Come on.
going over there. Why not? I don't like him. Does he have good barbecue?
Right.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm going.
Hold it. But Brother Malcolm said it best. Who taught you to hate yourself? See, some of this is generational conditioning. See, that's what we got to talk about. A lot of us have been generationally conditioned that the only way, listen, a lot of us brothers were generationally conditioned that you can't marry a chocolate sister. Go find you a light-skinned sister. Come on, this is the only way. Listen, and watch this.
Right, damn near white.
Right. Hold it. A lot of us were conditioned that if you wasn't light, bright, damn near white, you wasn't nothing. And guess what? We were conditioned with the house and the field mentality. That you will be a laborer while other folks will learn how to dress nice and try to blend in and try to see we got too many. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure I don't. Yeah, let me go on and say it. We got too many folk who've been sleeping with the enemy, too many folk who come to the hood, look like they hood, but go back to their side of town where they say the hood ain't no good. So we got too many double agents who look like you and I, who are peddling one thing when they on our side of town, but peddling something else when they on the other.
I don't know what else to do other than continue to express the importance of us changing the way we think. We have to change the way we perceive things. You know, I remember when Barack Obama was running for president. I had a van. And man, I saw like maybe 10, 12 brothers just standing on the corner. I swear I pulled that van up right in the middle of it. When I got out the van, they was looking like, man, who is that? I said, yo, brothers. I said, you brothers voted? Oh, man, ain't nobody trying to. I said, well, why not? I said, let me ask you something. I said, if you could get anything in your community that you wanted, what would you get? And before I could say another word, one of the brothers said, a job, some job. I said, do you realize the people that's making the decisions are the people that you don't vote for? So why don't you vote for somebody that's interested in bringing jobs? That's why your vote counts. And one of the guys looked at the other guy. He said, nobody ever put it to me like that. I said, the people that's in office making the decisions about your community, you didn't even put them there because you didn't vote. I said, it's a man running for president, and y'all not going to even vote for him. A brother that looked just like you. And they looked and they said, well, ain't nobody, care about our vote. I said, if nobody cared, I wouldn't be out here.
Mm.
I said, the issue is you don't care enough about your community to vote. That's what's bad. And I remember out of those 8 brothers, 3 of those brothers was like, man, I'm going to register to vote. I'm like, you need to do that, man. He said, because I'm going to put some people in there that's going to get us some jobs. I said, there you go. We have to change the way we think. We have to stop making up excuses and accepting that our prejudices are facts, because they're not. Our prejudices are not facts. Our biases are not facts. Because if that's the case, we'd never think a woman could do a job. But Kamala Harris is in the other side of the White House.
Right. Vice president.
The most powerful woman on the planet.
Come on.
You understand? And so if we believe biases and prejudices, that woman ain't gonna be able to do no good job. She a woman. She a black woman. We have to change that. We cannot continue this generational
conditioning
ideology
that has
conditioning not benefited us over the past 100 years. Right now, let's change our perception to something new. We're gonna start saying, okay, I'm not gonna allow mediocrity in my household anymore. I'm gonna hold my children to a level of excellence. I'm gonna hold them to a level of excellence. I'm not gonna let them say just that, them, those, and the other. We're gonna speak English correctly, and that don't mean you trying to talk white.
Come on.
The word is this, not this.
Right.
So If I say this, I'm not trying to be white. I'm speaking correct English.
Correct. Hold
But
it. Hold it.
see, we have a perception that if you speak correct English, you trying to be white.
Not understanding that civilization back in the days of Kemet. Okay, somebody can Google that. Back in the days when Kemet was there and folks were in the Caucasus Mountains trying to light a fire. See, we already had a language, a structure, a system, doctors, irrigation, and many other things. Listen, somebody wrote this and I've got to give them credit. They said, sit me down to a person that's better than me so that I can learn from them, not be envious of them and what they have, but try to figure out how did they get it and what formula from that person can I take to make a part of my lifestyle that I can achieve what they have achieved, if not more. At the end of the day, we need to be more about collaboration and less about competition.
We have a saying in my brothers, we're the hermanos, we hang out and we just talk sports, smoke cigars, drink a little bourbon here and there. And we always say if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to change your room. You need to go into another room because you're not gonna elevate if you feel uncomfortable about people who could teach you something. I love talking to the elderly. I love talking to old people. Man, they teach us stuff. Now I'm old. You see my shirt? Look, I'm old now.
Right.
I love talking to those people that have this knowledge. If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to leave that room and find you another room.
Come on.
Because how you gonna evolve and grow and change your perception, get your ideologies to different to evolve and to be something different.
Come on.
I challenge everybody that watch this podcast today. We got to stop with this narrow-minded perception that we have of all kinds of different things. We was talking about the sexuality the other day, and we was talking about well, I'm in the wrong body, and I saw a sign that said, "God don't make mistakes. God don't put people in the wrong body."
Come on. Speak on that.
I'm just saying some of the signs I saw. And well, you are a woman in a man's body or a man in a woman's body. And this lady had a sign and she said, but that implies that God made mistakes. Because childbirth is a miracle.
Come on.
But we have to understand that people think and they believe and they feel what they feel in their soul.
Come on.
So now we understand your perception. I understand it. But because I don't agree with it, don't mean I don't agree with you.
Right.
I agree you deserve to live.
Right.
You deserve to prosper. And you deserve to be happy.
Correct.
But if you want me to like what you like, stand for what you stand for, that might not always happen.
Correct.
And it does not mean we have a partner that we grew up with. And for the life of me, I don't understand why this dude loved the Atlanta Falcons. And I think he was born in Atlanta and moved to New Orleans when he was a child. I don't know. But he grew up with us, and this dude loved the Atlanta Falcons. And you understand, as a native New Orleanian, that's taboo. You
right.
cannot love the Falcons.
You in the enemy camp for real, for real.
In the enemy camp. So I love him. He is my brother. But I do not accept his ideologies, his viewpoint, his perception. We have to open our minds. If we don't, we're going to perish because we're going to stay stagnant. And yep, Darren, exactly. We're going to stay stagnant and we're going to not evolve and grow.
Right.
We have to continue to evolve and grow. And the only way we do that is by changing our perception.
Man, family, we can do better. All we have to do is begin to work together and take one step at a time. The same way we got in the hole that we're in, we can get ourselves out of it. But we have to believe in one another, and we have to begin to not only believe in one another, but encourage, work with one another, and build wealth with one another. It just always ceases to amaze me how many other cultures, many other political parties and ideologies come in our community and they get the best of us. They get the best of us and take the best of us out of our community and send the best of us back to our community to indoctrinate us in the manner that they need us to be good employees and good servants to their children to help build their wealth. We've got to do better. With that being said, listen, family, I want to put this up right quick. The 2023 Essence Music Festival of Culture is coming actually 4th of July weekend, which will be July. Starting actually June the 30th. June the 30th, July the 1st, and the 2nd. I will be on Radio Row. I am blessed that I have great people who sponsor me, such as Positive Choices Counseling Service, along with Josh Edmond, who's running for school board, Timmy Chasson, who's running for state representative number 44, and Briscoe Chiropractic, located at 148 Easy Street, Suite A, right here in Lafayette. So if you're looking for a chiropractor, definitely go holler at him. And if you need somebody to talk to about any of your mental health services needs, definitely get in touch with my good friend Edward J. Brown at Positive Choices. And you can hold it. Let me go ahead and put this up here right quick so you'll know. And this is how you find out about them. Positive Choices Counseling.org. You can go to the website. It lets you know about all the services that are offered, lets you know about how to get in contact with them. Because listen, we all need someone to talk to. And we all need someone to talk to. Now, before I turn it back over to him, I got to do one more thing. Election season is almost here. It is almost here. We will be doing Meet the Candidates. Why? Because you need to know where these candidates stand on the issues that affect our community. We will be having community conversations about the issues that matter to us. Because if you put somebody in office that doesn't care about your community, woe be unto you. And let me tell you something. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Everybody who look like us may not be for us. Larry Elder is a prime example. Tim Scott is a prime example. Everybody who look like us may not be for us. So you got to hear what the candidates have to say when it comes down to the issues that are at the forefront. We will be dealing with local. We will be dealing with state. We will be dealing with national issues because Black voters matter. You need to vote, and you need to vote for your future. All I can tell you is get engaged, get involved, get registered, and go vote. And find out who has the issues that pertain to you. With that being said, and because I can stay on here as long as I want to, my brother, Edward J. Brown.
Let me start by saying, brother, you are truly my brother from another mother. And I want to wish you a happy birthday.
Tomorrow, man, if I 12 o'clock midnight, hold it. I'm counting down hours. Hold on. I got about 3 more hours to midnight. I'm gonna try to stay up to midnight, just where I can just look up to heaven and say thank you for another time around the sun.
I want to say happy birthday, man, and enjoy your day. And I pray you see many, many more.
Hey, my brother.
Second thing is, I'm super proud of you and the work you're doing with Essence. If you have not seen his page, look at some of the people he rubbing elbows with, man. This brother's interviewed the who's who in Hollywood. And to be able to say, you know, a brother that met and interviewed those kind of people, hey, man, keep doing what you're doing. And if Positive Choices can sponsor, then we will continue. And be sure to take some pictures and let us see who you see. And have a good time, my United, because you be working, but still have a good time, man, and enjoy yourself, because it's going to be an opportunity for you to celebrate your birthday.
Right.
And on that note, you know what we always say every week, man.
Hold up.
Nobody else told you today.
That's it. There you go.
Love y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Hold on. Now I got to do something before I do that.
Okay.
Listen. So since he said that, let me give myself a birthday gift that I wanted to give to my brother Brown. You know, this is one of the reasons we try to be the example of the conversation that we give you in each one of these podcasts. This brother has been there for me, and I've been there for him. We work in a symbiotic relationship. There are some things that he brings to the table that I have no way means to even get my hands close to. He always there to wherever I'm short at, he helps me, and vice versa. We work together. We're never in competition. I sit down and take much advice from this brother. He's 2 years older than me, and I take advice from him as if he was my big brother. There's times I play the big brother. He'll sit down and say, Joe, I need some direction on this because I don't know it. Listen, family, we got to start listening to one another where we are strong and the other one is weak. Allow the one with strength to help guide you through that situation, that area. Stop trying to be the biggest person in the room every time, because you can't be the biggest person in the room every time. And see, many of us, that's our problem. We always want to be the go-to person. We want to be the person that everybody says, hey, man, you the man, you the woman. No, sometimes you need to be the student and sit down and learn. Listen and learn, because you don't know everything. And guess what? Those of us who know this and those of us who operate like that, that's why we're able, win, lose, or draw, to go to sleep and be peaceful with ourselves and be peaceful with the world around us. We can win if we begin to help each other win. So, as my brother would say, we're about to get up out of here. And we really appreciate y'all. We appreciate everything that you do when you log in, when you share this with somebody, when you tell a friend to tell a friend that we're doing Wellness Wednesday, because every Wednesday we're here because your mental health means that much to that brother right there, Edward J. Brown. To him, I help facilitate this because I know that we have depression and suicide rates that are sky high in our communities of color. And we need to do something about it because it's our brothers and our sisters that are dying. Even when I see homicides.
Our children.
Right. When I see these homicides, listen, a lot of that has to do with nobody loved me. Nobody talked to me. Now I'm bitter, mad, and bruised. And all I want to do is pull out a gun and shoot anybody who gets close to me. Family, we can do better. We can be better. Let us drift away from this competition, from this, I want you to do good. I just don't want you to do better than me. And let's get to this place of collaboration where when one rises, we all rise. Listen, good night. God bless. Tomorrow's my birthday. And if the Lord allows me to see 12 o'clock midnight, I'll probably dance a jig around the house. But we'll see y'all next Wednesday because that's how we do it. So as he always says, look, there's nothing else that you can do. Go ahead. Hold it. I'm going to let him say your thing one more time where I can do this right.
Don't nobody else tell you today. We love you. Peace.